Today we are going to talk about 10.1 angles. I'm going to talk to you about the different kinds of angles. Basically, the first one is acute. Tell me what acute means. Less than 90 degrees, okay? So think about a 90-degree angle. How is one way that we can tell that that's a 90-degree angle?
Because it has
All right, it has that cute little square right there, and that tells us every time that that's a 90-degree angle. So we can figure out whether something is acute or obtuse based off of a 90-degree angle. So if you look at this one up here, a 90-degree angle would have formed up that way, okay? Was it as big as that or bigger or smaller? Acute means it's smaller, okay? So it makes it acute because it is less than 90 degrees. Obtuse, think of something that's large, okay? It is more than 90 degrees. So you can always use a corner of a piece of paper, and that is the perfect thing to put. If you put the corner there, the corner would come about like this, and as you can see, it went off bigger or greater than 90 degrees, so we know that that's obtuse. We talked about the right angle, and then a straight angle is pretty easy to figure out. How can you figure it out?
It's just straight.
It's just a straight line, okay? So straight angles are pretty simple. How many degrees is a straight angle? 180 degrees. When we talk about other kinds of angles here in a bit, you're going to want to remember that a straight angle is 180 degrees. So looking at these real quick, estimate to classify the angle as to whether or not it's acute, right, obtuse, or straight. Emma, what is the first one?
Obtuse.
Why is it obtuse?
Because it's bigger than 90 degrees.
It is bigger than 90 degrees, okay? You could always take a straight line or a corner of a piece of paper. If you did that, you would have seen it would have been going up kind of like that, and it was bigger than that, all right? So it is obtuse. Next up, Landon, what's the second one?
Acute.
Acute, why?
It's less than 90 degrees.
Okay, so if I was to have an angle or a corner, it would go up like this. That would be my 90 degree, and you can clearly see this right here is smaller or less than 90 degrees. Next up, Michael, what kind of a line is C?
C, straight.
Straight, pretty simple. How many degrees is that, guys? Exactly 180 degrees. And the final one, what is this?
Right.
How can you tell it's a right angle?
Square.
All right, when you see that cute little square right there, that helps us to know it's exactly 90 degrees. The next kind of angles I'm going to talk to you about, the first ones are complementary. Everyone say complementary.
Complementary.
So in order to have complementary angles, you have to have two angles, and they have to add up to what?
90 degrees.
90 degrees. So notice right here, these guys add up 60 plus 30 is 90 degrees. Who can give me another set of complementary angles? What do you think?
You could do 80 over 10.
Okay, 80 degrees and 10 degrees. That together, does it equal 90?
Yes.
That is correct. So both of those would be called complementary angles. Let's go on to the next one, supplementary angles. Everyone say supplementary.
Supplementary.
All right, supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180 degrees. Do you guys remember a straight line? How many degrees is a straight line? Okay, so look at this. Do you see how that's a straight line? Now notice the two angles right there, 120 degrees and 60 degrees. What does that equal?
180.
It equals 180 degrees, okay? So when looking for supplementary angles, one little tip is you're going to have a straight line down there. Who can give me an example of two angles that would be called supplementary angles? Carlos.
1 and 179.
1 degree and 179 degrees, all right? Very good. That together would equal 180 degrees, which would be supplementary. This is asking us to tell whether the angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither, and then we want to explain why we think that. Katie, looking at the first ones, what kind of angles do you think those are? Okay, you think they're complementary, and why do you say that?
Because they're both of them added up equal 90 degrees.
Okay, so the way that you explain your reasoning is you're just going to say 32 degrees plus 58 degrees equals 90 degrees, and that's true. Anytime two angles add up to 90 degrees, those will always be considered complementary angles. All right, so next one, Landon, problem B. What kind of angles do you think those are?
Complementary.
Okay, why are they complementary?
Supplementary.
Why are they supplementary? Okay, very good job. They are supplementary because when you add 79 degrees plus 101 degrees, it's going to equal 180 degrees. And every time that two angles equals 180 degrees, they will always be supplementary. And the last and final one, Asia, what do you think? Why are they neither? You are correct. If I add up 44 degrees and 45 degrees, it equals 89 degrees. So for the given angle measure that they give you here for A and B, you're going to find the measure of a supplementary and a complementary angle if possible. The first thing we're going to look for, because the instructions ask us for a supplementary angle first, we're going to go ahead and try to find the supplementary angle first. How many degrees are in supplementary angles? 180. So if I know one of the angles is 16 degrees, how do I figure out what my other angle is? You subtract what?
180.
Okay, you're just going to do 180 degrees minus 16 degrees. So what would the other angle be?
164 degrees.
164 degrees. Thank you for saying degrees, because that's our units that we want to put there, okay? So you did the first part of problem A, but it also has asked us for a complementary angle. How many degrees do the two angles have to add up to for complementary? 90. So if I know one of them is 16 degrees, how do I figure out the other one?
16 minus 90.
Not 16 minus 90.
Plus 90.
You want them to add up to 90.
90 minus 16.
90 degrees minus 16 degrees. Okay, you don't want to add them together, because if I were to add them together, then it would give me 106 degrees. Okay, and that's more than complementary angles. And then you're just going to box in your answers. The top one is the supplementary one, and the bottom one is the complementary one. All right, so the next one says that one of my degrees is going to be 126 degrees. Once again, we're going to go ahead and work with supplementary first. Asia, how many degrees are in supplementary angles? 180. So how do I figure out what my other degree is going to be? And what do you get? Very good. 54 what? Degrees. Excellent. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Complementary. How many degrees are in a complementary angle? 90. So you're going to start with 90, and what am I going to subtract?
126.
Okay, when you do that, what do you get?
Negative.
You get 36.
You get a negative degree. There is no such thing as negative degrees. So is that possible?
Yes.
It is not possible, because there is no such thing as negative degrees. Number 4 is asking us to find the measure of the angle. If you see right here where it looks like this, that says angle D, all right? So angle D and angle E are supplementary. If the measure of angle D is 84 degrees, find the measure of angle E. How would I do a problem like this? What do you think, Kyla?
Subtract 180 degrees minus 84 degrees,
You're right. Why did you choose 180 degrees?
because supplementary is 180 degrees.
You are correct. Anytime you have supplementary angles, it's always going to be 180 degrees. We know one of them is 84, so what does the other one have to be?
96 degrees.
96 degrees is correct. Problem B says the angle R and angle S are complementary. If the measure of angle S is 9 degrees, find the measure of angle R. Isabel, how do I find this one?
90 minus 9.
Okay, why did you choose 90?
Because it's complementary.
You are correct. Anytime you have complementary angles, they will always equal 90 degrees. So guys, what is the other angle?
81 degrees.
You are correct. The measure of angle R is going to be 81 degrees. Pretty simple. The hardest part is measuring and figuring out whether supplementary or complementary are 90 degrees or 180 degrees. Okay, and if you know that, you'll do great.
You're pretty good.
Here is a picture of a lawn chair. The measure of angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary. What does it mean to be supplementary?
Exactly 180.
The two are going to add up together and be 180 degrees. If the measure of angle 1 is 130 degrees, find the measure of angle 2. How do I do it, guys?
180 minus 130 degrees.
180 minus 130 degrees. What's your answer?
50 degrees.
50 degrees. Always make sure you put those units there. All right? Pretty simple?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too difficult.
My football
All right, this is your homework assignment for tonight. So go ahead and write this down for me, please.